Yo, uh, I forgot I changed it to 5:30. Yeah, but if you just saw that intro, that was trying to put in some work to make a better stream. Uh, so let's make sure what's going on there. Oh, we got a delay. All right, so that's doing its thing. All right, so it's gonna be shorter than usual. Well, I'm not sure yet, but I got an agenda. I want to wait till more people come in, but you know how it be. Wanderlust. Why does that name sound familiar? Why does that name sound familiar? But what's up? All right. Let's actually. You know what? I need to make sure my iPhone don't die. All right. Give me 1 second. It's a good thing I'm wearing pants because if I would stand up, that could end my career. All right. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I didn't even have to get up all like that. All right. Boom. All right. Now what's that saying? Get out of here. What is that? What is that? Get out of here. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's making a freaking. All right, we got to get rid of that iPhone video capture. Where's the iPhone? Man, you guys are at the beginning of all this. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right, but we know what that is. It's the other video capture device. Is it you? Nope, didn't disappear. All right, 1 second. Just let me get this. Because when I plugged in my phone, it put the camera back on. All right, that's. Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I don't want that on the screen. All right, plan B. We're going to unplug it. Ba-ba. All right, now it's gone. We just need to figure out how to. But here, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my intro again. So, all right, here we go. Boom. We're back. All right, so we got the iPhone plugged in. We got the microphone. Everything is good to go. All right, so here, let me start. All right, here we go. So 1 second. Boom. Boom. And there we go. All right, Tuesday talk. There should be an S, but RG, it's been a minute. It's been a minute for you. It's been a lifetime for me. Time moves differently when you change your life. Actually, I guess a minute does make sense too in that case, but it feels like a forever. Like, but yeah. So I didn't rehearse this, but I did write it out. All right. So today's agenda, right? Boom. Our tonight's agenda, even though it is daytime. So we're going to do roll call because I want to know where people are coming from. I am coming from Pennsylvania, Easton. We just had like a little rainstorm yesterday, but it is very appreciated being that it's summertime and rain is good. There's some parts of the world that ain't getting rain. So for the 4 people who did come into the feed, where are you from? Actually, I should know where you guys are from, but I want to say Wanderlust is. I'll wait. We'll see. All right, so roll call, and then I don't know if you could see. I don't even know what's happening on the screen. All right, I guess there's a delay, but eventually the screen should change over. All right, let me. Oh man. All right, so on my. Oh, okay, okay. I would have to be. All right, we got a Florida, Chi-Town. Uh, can you see the PowerPoint? Because I can't see. I don't know how long this delay is. All right, I'm gonna wait till I can see upstate New York. All right. Yo, eventually when I figure out how to do shit. All right, so there's like a it looks like it's a 10-second delay. So in a minute, you're going to see what's on my screen. But all right, so here's my intro. Belgium. We got a Belgium in the house. Yo, so Pennsylvania, we make Hershey's chocolate. Hershey's is from Pennsylvania. And when I was in Japan, some of the teachers, all right, cool, cool, cool. So some of the teachers on my birthday or Valentine's, they would give me like chocolate from Belgium because, that's like the fancy stuff. And I'd be looking at it like, why are you giving it? I just want plain ass chocolate. All right, so we back. Or there's a feed. But this is weird. I guess because I can't really watch. Well, I got to watch it to make sure I'm not like doing random stuff. So the purpose of, well, you still can't see what I'm looking at, but today I'm just trying to run through a more polished. All right, here we go. Da 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 da. Bam. What? There's such a delay, but I'm trying to as I said, I'm trying to work on it and make it more polished. But it's hard, man. I'm learning this stuff as I go. But it keeps me busy, keeps my mind focused. I gotta time out this delay because on my screen it's been up for like a good 20 years. Y'all are just gonna see it in 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, I guess. All right, here it is. All right, so today's agenda or tonight's agenda, depending where you are in the world. All right, so we got roll call. We already did that. Got Belgium in the house, Florida, upstate New York, Chi-Town, Pennsylvania. And the second one, any good news? Because the world's full of bad news. But do you guys have any good news? Let's see what's good with me. So I've been working on motion graphics. That's my newest thing. And as you can see from the intro, I'm slowly getting it. I mean, I could have. No, actually, I made all that. So that's what it is. I did that. Let's see. I cooked chicken for my dad yesterday. He liked it. So that's good news. So if you guys have any good news, please share with the people who happen to pop in the feed. Because I think the world needs more good news. All right, and we're going to do the contest winner because I've been slacking on that. We have Blast from the Past. So I prepared some pictures. I bought my mom a dream card. And all I could say, yo, that is what's up, man. Eventually, I'm going to have a little thing that makes noise. But that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Congratulations. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'll be traveling around the world in September. Man, this is... Yo, I feel like if news started off on this foot, just like good news, and then they kind of did the bullshit, and then they went back to good news, I think people would be just better, man. But yeah, I have a friend, I think I mentioned this before, but she might come to the States in September. So traveling is good, man. I might go off to Utah to visit a friend down there. All right, but yeah, just keep the good news coming as you come in. And yeah, let's keep that energy. I don't think I never thought I'd be one of those people to be like the energy. But anyway, all right. So then, blast from the past. I got some video that I've never posted, and I got some pictures from when I first got to Japan. I'm talking like 17 years ago. All right, and then topic of discussion. I don't know if you watched the video I posted this morning, but my mom always just used to say to me that, like when I'd have fights with my friends and I'd be all upset, she'd be like, you came into this world alone, you're going to die alone or leave the world alone. And for me, it kind of, like as you know, I moved back from Japan and now I'm in the States, and it's lonely for lots of reasons, but because I when I think of that, my mom always prepared me for this kind of I don't know if she was preparing me for this, but I'm not really like worried about being lonely. I do shit, build shit. Like this whole stream thing, it took me, I think I started around 12 o'clock. So it took me about 4.5 hours to put this together. But yeah. All right. And then any questions for me? As they say, questions, put them at the end, but you could always throw questions in. And then closing remarks, and then we out. I don't know if I'm going to make it, so I was going to try to go to Zumba tonight. It's a 7 o'clock class. That's why I'm starting a little early, but I don't want to be rushing. I mean, I'm like 10, 15 minutes away, so I might be able to, but it depends if things are popping off. All right, so let's get into the slides. Ba-boom. All right, we could skip that one. Wow, we could skip that one. Wow. I think Mama was saying nobody owes you anything. Yeah, Mama said something along those lines, and yeah, and it keeps me going. As long as I'm able to do what I can do, I'm gonna do it, and that's what keeps me alive and be grateful. Man, I don't know if it's just me, but I got the greatest subscribers or people who jump on the feed. Because I be on other, you watch a video and I jump down to the comments and it just be so many negative people, man. Like if there's someone who just won $1 million, there's a bunch of people in the comment section, like just throwing out negativity. How well you're adjusting to America. Man, I am not. Well, I guess day by day, but this happened, right? So I'm sitting here, and one of my jobs or things I do is, answer the phone, the house phone, intercept calls, be the secretary, right? So the phone rings, and it's like, bring, bring, bring. And the lady, she says, "Hi, Mr. Rhyming." So she's calling for my dad, like, "No, I'm his son. How may I help you?" She said, "Oh, we're in the area, and I thought it'd be nice if I called you to talk about roof replacement." And I'm like, "Pardon? You're in the area right now?" She said, "Oh, no, I'm not in the area. I'm just calling the people in your area. And I thought it'd be nice to call you." So I'm like, "Why would you think it's nice to call me or call this house?" And she said, "Because we're in the area." And I'm like, "I thought you said you're not in the area." And she said, "No, we're not in the area, but it is going around and around like that." Yeah, I'm being that way. Because literally 5 or 10 minutes before that, another person from the same company called me. And I was just like, "Dude, can I be honest with you? Why are you calling me?" And he's like, "We got this list." I'm like, okay. I used to do cold calls too. I never liked it. And he's like, "Thank you for your honesty." But the second lady, she calls and she's just like, "Listen, I already." So I don't think I'm adjusting to that. The more famous you get, the more people you'll have hate on you for something. I mean, people hate on me now. I am not famous. People hate. Wow, this thing is really slow, man. It just doesn't be updating. But it's okay because I'm going to keep. This is when you see it pop up, you see it pop up, but it doesn't look like it'll be in real time. All right, but we got Adam's Pizza order in the house. Yeah. Every other Saturday I order pepperoni pizza. But I only eat the pizza for the day. So for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I only have that one pizza pie with some water. I like to believe I'm being healthy by not eating a lot of junk food, but you know. All right, so okay, here we go. Here comes a slide. So we did the good news, and we're on the winner announcement. All right, so a while ago, I had a contest about the kanji on my shirt and how many rabbits were in the video. And to make my life easier, I first whoever answered it first, it would go in that order. Because when it comes to those like 20 people and you gotta decipher which is the best, it just takes forever. So the first winner was, if I had a drum roll, it goes something like brum brum brum. Actually, we're gonna wait till it pops up. Some anticipation. But yeah. The first winner, they were able to get the kanji on the shirt. It was Shibuya Psycho. Shibuya is great. And that's because, I always spent time in Shibuya. That was like the number one place that I stayed. I never lived there. That was going to be like my kind of retirement. Not that I'm retiring, but it would have been the place that I would that would be the last place I lived until I moved back here. But yeah. So for the prize, I'm still thinking of a good prize because I ain't got no money. I don't have nothing. How could I say this? It'd be very difficult for me to send anything to anybody in this and under these circumstances. And I can't really, but the prize was going to be like a discount to my store where you could like download any song for free or something. But then it's a kind of weird prize because on that store everything is basically free. I don't put a price on there. You could just listen. So I'm still thinking of a good prize. But when I get one, wow, I got to time this out. I still remember used to wear Evisu jeans back in the day. We got Jumpman in the house. Yeah, man. I don't regret wearing the Evisu jeans, paying $300 for one pair of jeans and $100 for a Evisu hat. That was a phase I was going through. Ironically, or interestingly enough, someone reached out to me like 8 years later, way after I stopped rocking Evisu stuff. And the email was titled King of Evisu. And he was like, yo, I remember watching your videos back in the day. You used to rock Evisu. I got a job for you. I have this sample. Can you flip it? Sometimes you got to pay to play. Yes, sir. Well, it was a phase. I'm not taking anything back. It was a phase. I liked it, moved on. But he's like, can you flip a sample for me? And then he's like, I'll pay you for it. And I'm like, yeah, I could flip the sample. And how much do you want? I threw out a price. He said, that's cool. I flipped the sample. He paid me. Speaking of, I got to email him because we worked, like he would send me some more jobs. And just when I came home, he asked me if I could record him in Shibuya. And I said I moved back to the States. And then he emailed me back saying he'll fly to Philadelphia and I could record him in a studio out there. But I didn't return the email. But this was all because I was rocking Evisu like a crazy guy. You never know how how things twist and turn. But because then I went through a phase where I was rocking, rhyming gear, and I'm like, wow, one pair of Evisu pants could have bought all types of custom rhyming stuff. And then when I was rocking like suits, one Evisu pants could have got me a nice tailored suit. And now that I'm home and I'm like, my money's funny, I'm like, wow, if I had a pair of Evisu pants, but in cash. But yeah. All right, there it is. All right. it finally came up. So Ibizu Hapa, you are what? Look at that. So you are the winner. So there's two winners. So you are the winner of the kanji thing. Yo, I didn't know about Ibizu until I was in Japan. I'm walking down the street and I see the M's on the back, and I'm like, well, you know the story if you found out from me. But during that time, like if you look in the Beyonce video, Crazy in Love, Crazy in Love, or in Soldier Boys, they were wearing Ibizu too. They just weren't shouting it out at that moment. They were just rocking it because they'd be touring, whatever. And then it feels like the industry started going towards bathing ape. So in Soldier Boys, and I got me some bathing ape. I didn't like those so much because I was sticking with what I was sticking with. All right. Moving on to the next winner of the rabbits. What's going on with my wow, this shit's so slow. Oh, here we go. All right, so the next winner, they were able to, well, now again, I sat there and went through my video and counted all the rabbits, frame by frame. I was hoping that no one else, well, the prize wasn't that extravagant. If it was like $1 million, I would bet people would be like frame by frame. But nah, man, when it comes to the resale, so what happened? I don't think have I ever said what had happened was, so when I first so the minute that I put my logo on a hat and I made a video and someone in the comments like, yo, that's dope, I lost. Well, there's a couple things. The founder of Eviz was like, I don't want it to be international. So I'm like, whatever then. I don't want to rock your clothes. And then when I started making my own clothes, I was like, I have no need to wear another man's clothes or woman, whatever. So I went to like the secondhand shop and I'm like, yeah, we'll give you $10 for it. I'm like, you gonna give me $10 for $300 jeans? Nah. So I put them in a bag and they kind of just sat there. And then when I was moving, I threw them away. Just threw them out. I kept a couple, but I threw a whole bunch of shit away. I kept all the hats, right? And then I don't know where the idea came, but I was like, why don't I put it on, let me try eBay. So I put it on eBay, and this guy's like, I'll buy them shits. He bought 3 hats for like, I want to say $280. And these were used hats, like. So I'm like, shit, I should have put the jeans on eBay. Like, that's the problem when you are a loner. You don't find out things. Like, if I had other people who were doing what I was doing, it'd be like, oh, yeah, this is da-da-da-da. All right, it's not up yet. I can't believe, no, I can't believe I won. I forgot about that contest. Oh, there it is. It popped. What? Maybe it's just me it's slow for. But yeah, Gary, you won. I think you said 11 rabbits. I counted 7, or maybe you said 7, but there was 11 or something like that. It was really hard, man, because I had the 360 cam, so you can't really zoom in and it gets all distorted. And you can't really run up on a rabbit because a rabbit that you run up on will rapidly run away. Try saying that 1,000 times fast. But yeah, I threw them away. But that's just what it was. And plus, it's not like I could have wore them because I was buying them when I just came to Japan. So I was buying like size 44 when I'm like a size 28, 29, 30. So them shits were huge. But, life goes on like that. All right. So, let's see if this works. Coming down. Ba-boom. All right. Can you guys let me know if you see Blast from the Past right now? I hope Japan fully opens back early next month. I finally have money, but can't wait. A friend of mine a friend of mine, my ex-girlfriend, she's in the States now. So I guess it's open, and a lot of people are traveling. My All right, cool, cool, cool. Actually, is it yes that okay, cool. All right, so it's just on my end. It's super slow. Well, that's good. Who needs to see it on what? I guess because it's bouncing from here and it's going to the server and it's coming back to me. All right, so blast from the past. So I'm coming up with some ideas, but I want to make these live streams more interesting because someone mentioned, and they're right. But me just talking, sitting in my house is really no different from me walking and talking, other than it's nice and cozy in my house. Is that the ex you used to have another Chan? Nah, this is the ex that was after her. And when I met her, she's like, I don't do social media. Like when I met her and I found her on Facebook, we had no mutual friends, which is a beautiful thing because I don't want to be dating people who know people. I want, you know how it is. So she was just like, I don't do social media, and she didn't want to be in my videos. And yeah. I mean, it was cool because I needed a break. That's when I kind of disappeared, did MBA, and just kind of was chillaxing. But if I did make videos with her, like we went to Okinawa, we did more traveling, we did more things. But yeah. All right, so blast from the past. Life with RG, I think. All right, so here's some. So I wanted to make this more interesting, so I try to pull different media, some pictures from the past. I got some videos, and we'll think of more things as we go. But here we go. So first picture. Um, so when I first came to Japan, I was on my McDonald's shit. There used to be a McDonald's close to the Temple University, Japan, so I always go down there for lunch. And one day, and we had a 7-Eleven downstairs. So one day, one of my classmates, so this is like 17 years ago, man. One of the classmates like, "Hey Matt, you ever have yakitori?" I'm like, "What the hell's yakitori?" She's like, "It's like chicken with sauce on it." And like you see, so she has it on this little stick thingy. She eats it and then she just kind of puts it in front of my face. I don't think I ever ate anything from anyone like that, but when in Japan, do Japan, right? So I took a bite. Like I'm really picky with eating, so unless someone is doing it that way, I'm not gonna eat it. Like I'm not gonna pay money to buy something I may not like. And yeah, so I take a bite, and I was just like, "Damn, this is great." So then for the next, I want to say, well, this was when I was studying abroad. So for the next like 3 months, my diet consisted of rice, this little yakitori, and a can of 150 milliliter of Coca-Cola. These days, I don't drink Coke. I might, when I eat pizza, I get Coke, but I don't drink the whole can. I drink like a half of it because I would like to believe that a half of Coke, a half of Coca-Cola, a half of soda, a half of Coke, get in trouble there, is better than the full thing. I actually throw it away. I'm a wasteful guy, man. But my health is more important than waste. All right, moving on. All right, so today, if I was talking about how I first came to Japan, and my assumption or I believed that Japanese people were shy because the one that I had in class with me and the group of Japanese students I saw on main campus, I had never interacted with them, so that was my thought. When I came to Temple University, Japan, and I was talking about this today, this guy, Tomo, now I guess he doesn't look Japanese, but I just got to Japan, so anyone there was Japanese to me. But he's mixed and he lived in London. But I didn't know all that at that time. So he's just like, "What's up?" And he's just all like extra and happy and just like this smile. I would run in, like I met him 17 years ago, And from time to time, I would run into him and we talk. He was ahead of his time. He like we were ahead of our time because he was also like we were in the same program, communications and media. But but um but if TikTok existed then, he would be killing it because he was doing this thing where he did this social project where he's like, I wonder if people will help me if I fall down because sometimes the perception was that Japanese people don't go out of their way to help other people, blah, 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 blah. So he would like walk somewhere and fall down the steps, like, and then have cameras set up and like wait to see if anyone helps him. He, I mean, I don't want to be talking about this man like this, but he just do all this wild shit before the internet. Like this is MySpace days. But yeah. So when I met him, I was like, wow, Japanese people are not shy, even though technically, I think he lived in London. I think his mom is Japanese. I don't know the story like that. All right. How much did Temple cost? Well, you. All right. Have a nice one. Sweet dreams, or as they say in Japanese, oyasumi nasai. This was my first Japanese teacher, or my only Japanese teacher. I don't remember how much it cost, but basically, I was in main campus Temple, and to go to Japan, it was the same price within the tuition. I didn't pay anything more or less, so it worked out. Doing challenge where it has many signature from Japanese people. Yeah, that's a video I should post or repost. Again, we are, man, a different time, man, different time. This is my Japanese teacher. She would call me Manifesto. Because it's first day, she's like, what do you want to be called? I'm like, my rap name, Manifesto. And she would say it in katakana. She was mad cool, man. Mad cool. I forget her name. But really cool. And really cool. She bought us ice cream, man. I was like sitting there and I said, hey, man, why don't we go get ice cream? She's like, okay. Good times, good times. All right, moving on. I'm assuming when it pops over here and it pops over there, so I'm thinking you could see this. So, most of the time I spent in the early days of college life in Japan was going to the club. Although this was after graduating and going back for Christmas. But she was mixed Iranian, Canadian, something. She had all these mixes in. And I met her at the club and we were enjoying each other's time. So we met at the club, we talked, we walked out to somewhere. We're talking, I'm sharing the stories about life in America and all that good shit. And yeah, we're talking. And then, not gonna lie, she's a baddie. I I liked her. She was the one, man. But then the next time we met, she didn't remember anything from the first time we met because I met her when she was drunk. I don't drink. I'm not familiar with this kind of talking and not really remembering shit. So the next time, again, I just repeated myself. Yeah, you know, I'm from Pennsylvania. Da 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 da. I make music. And then the third time we met, and she didn't remember, and I was just like, you know what? I'm done. Done. You talking about the teacher? Teach their own. All right. All right. Wow, this is so slow, man. So slow. All right. Afraid the teacher was a baddie. man, I gotta figure out how to make this. Maybe I could like somehow put it in the web so it's. But I don't know, man. I got a lot to learn. I guess watching the playback, I could see if it's lined up. I don't know, man. But yeah, this picture coming up. Can you see the picture where? I guess you could see it. Maybe you can't. The picture where I'm in a suit and tie, way before Justin Timberlake. I used to go to the clubs in a suit and tie because I was like that. But can you see that picture? I assume you can. I guess. Damn, okay. You can see it. All right. I want to bring your attention to the watch on my hand. I don't have any decent pictures of this infamous Rolex that I always talk about. Got my little chains and jewelry. But I don't know. It was a different. Well, I can't say. I guess it was me being in a new place and being young and young, having fun, and fun I did have. Yeah, man, good times, good times. I guess the thing with nah, it, like right now being back home kind of sucks and everything and blah blah blah. But when I was out in Japan, I was living my life. It wouldn't take that away for anything. So it is what that is. But yeah, the girl on the right, her name was I'm not gonna her last name was Wu. And I'm like, do you know Wu Tang? And she's like, of course I know Wu Tang. And I was like, that's dope. And we would talk and we meet up. She was a student. Good times. Good times. I think when I came home we still talked, but yeah. All right. So I need the one to write. I'm pretty that was like 10, 15 years ago. She's probably like a whole nother person. I mean, more or less, I mean, I might be a little more jaded and older. But I think I'm the I guess we're all different. 7 years we change it up and all that. But yeah. All right, so next when I was in Japan, I joined a band, making the band. And it was really random. Like I was at a show, met this guy, he made music. I was like, "Hey man, your music's cool." He didn't say much. Or like I walked up to him. I'm like, "Your stuff is really dope. Can I get your contact?" Cuz when I see someone who's impressive with their music, like he's a band guy, guitar and all that, but he had like Ableton. And 6 months later, I didn't hear from him. And then he kind of reaches out to me like, "Hey man, you want to be in a band?" I was like, "Sure." And then I guess he didn't say you want to be in the band. He's like, "Do you want to just perform with the singer and the drummer?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, man. I'm down. I'm down to perform." And it was really cool, man. So I was talking. So all these videos are this stuff. I was talking about it today. So trying to give like the backdrop to all this. But yeah, so I'm in this band, and it was interesting because although we're all musicians, I always kind of felt, and we're all the same age, so we kind of had some similar points. But I felt like I'm not from the hood, but I kind of feel like I'm in like that area. And sometimes they would make these jokes like, "Yeah, people in the hood," and I'm like, I'm from the hood, but I'm not from the hood. And but maybe you know what I'm saying, maybe don't. But yeah, they would say stuff like that. But on this particular show, it was like a really big show, big show. There was other bands, but we were like kind of the headliners. And I reached out to all my friends. "Yo, I'm in a band. You should come check out me and the band." Because the singer, phenomenal. The guitar player, phenomenal. The drummer, phenomenal. Phenomenal? I think, yeah. The guy, the bass guy, never seen that guy. He's just like an extra that we needed because our regular had to do something. And I'm just basically freestyling the thing because it was just weird. Like for me, if you give me the track, 16 bars, I could loop a 1 bar. But if you give me the 16 bars, then I can get to work. But they would never give me the tracks. We go to rehearsal and they spend all this time. Ew, there's a nasty looking bug. Let me stay focused. But what the hell is this bug doing on the inside of my house? Focused, all right. So, man, how the hell? Focus. I cannot focus. Maybe it's on the outside. I don't know how it got. Focus. All right, so we had this show and there's this band and hopefully the music plays. Hopefully, 'cause that would suck otherwise. All right, I'm stalling, but no. I would always freestyle, and our band had some real random name, but our nickname was Butter Toast because the singer had a Butter Toast keychain. So every time in rehearsal, we'd be like, Butter Toast, Butter Toast. And our band leader, off topic, I remember when you put in the Halloween video and it looked so fun in different countries. I remember when you posted your first Halloween video and it looked so fun, like a different world where everyone. If I remember, I'll come back to that. But so yeah, our nickname was Butter Toast, and every time I would rap, like this is a performance, this is like a big time for us, and I just drop it in there, and the people who know us are laughing. And if you could look at the bass player's face, guitar player, I'm pretty sure he was like side-eyeing me. But let's see if this plays. All right, here we go. I'm not sure if it's playing. Can you hear the band and the music? I don't know if it's playing. This is the first time I'm doing all this, so if it's not playing, we'll figure it out. My screen just went black, so can't hear the video. Okay. All right, let's see if we could do this. All right. This might mess stuff up, but I heard you scared to do open mics in the hood. Black Phoenix Mars, welcome to the talk. I guess I am. When I was down in Philly, I performed at all different types of venues. Whatever. It is what it is. But my thing is I always roll by myself, solo dolo. And I'm bringing a bunch of my gear with me. So I just don't feel like having my stuff got. Reasoning, my excuse. But yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. Where's this video? I'm gonna try to drag it into the thing. All right, so let's see if this works. If not, all right, we're gonna put it above this. Let's see what happens. All right, can you hear that? Alright, can you hear the music? All right, so that was a test. You see how it went. We'll perfect it later as we go on. All right, so let's see what's next on our agenda. Ba-bum-bum. All right, we need to get to the next slide from here. All right, let's discuss. All right, so here's just like a free time to talk about whatever. So I'm gonna go back up to off topic. I still remember when you're Halloween, it looked fun, different world, everyone participates. I guess the thing is, and I guess it's with everyone, but speaking from my experience, it's not that everyone participated. It's just the place that I was at that point, they were participating in that kind of like Mardi Gras. I never been there, but I don't think everyone is out there with beads and like doing their thing, or you know, if that makes sense. And at that time, in those earlier videos, Halloween was confined more or less to that street that I was on. Schools weren't really talking about it yet. The kids weren't doing little trick-or-treating. Older Japanese were just like, I don't know what that shit's about. Getting like, as it would go on, it became like holiday, where in the stores they would have like Halloween shit and kids would know. It's so funny to hear from me that Christmas people like that. Yeah, I almost did, but there was a long line. It was a long ass line, because I was with my girlfriend, like, hey, you want to get chicken? And she's like, sure. It was just off the cuff, and I walked down there, and it's just like sold out, and all they had was like some bullshit. But yeah, man, I guess it makes sense. In general, they don't have big stoves in Japan, so they're not making the chicken in stoves. And I don't know if I don't know who watches it, but they were showing a clip from when Russia opened up their first McDonald's. This is like back in the day, and people were like lining up around the block to get some McDonald's. In Japan, it's Mac. America, McDonald's. Yeah, it's just crazy. What's the best meal you ever had in Japan? I mean, I'm a picky eater, so in general, I'm eating the same thing, and it's good. Like, I wouldn't be trying no extra shit like Wagyu and all that. So more or less, I had plain hamburgers and plain pastas, and it was great for me. Maybe boring for other people. Food that my girlfriends would make me, ex-girlfriends, made with love, was always good. Texas, yo, I heard you guys are having heat waves down there, according to the news. So be safe out there. But for me, man, like when I first got to Japan, and when I needed to get a taste of America, I would eat at McDonald's, and I would always feel, I'm home. I would feel relaxed. Is American food in Japan pretty good, better or worse than uh, I mean, it's different. Like, I'm the worst person to ask about food. Like, I eat what I eat. I don't like. My brother took me to this fancy restaurant when I came home, and they got everything, and I'm like, I'll take a hamburger. He's like, you can't eat a hamburger. I was like, but that's what I want to eat. He's like, you can't. It's too fancy. So I didn't want no steak. I think I ended up getting like chicken, and I saw they had mac and cheese, but then they put crab in their mac and cheese, like all that shit, all that. You hear me dropping all that shit because that I just want plain mac and cheese, man. You don't have to be fancy. If you cook it simply, I will love you and the food. If you add the extra shit, like I'm the most easiest person to cook for. But in your opinion, what's the best months to be in Japan? That really depends on you. Like if you want to go swimming, summer. If you want to go skiing, winter. If there's a particular festival, then you would have to go at that time. If you want to hear the sounds of cicadas, it may be annoying. After you live there for a couple of years, it becomes part of the soundscape. Weather-wise, September is nice. The fall season is pretty mild. But yeah, maybe Christmas time is not the best months because everything closes down for New Year's and banks are closed and all that shit. Does Japan ever get ridiculously cold or it depends where you live. If you live in a cold area, it gets really cold, lots of snow, and if you live in Okinawa, it doesn't get cold. Let's see here. Yeah, it's over 100 here. That's crazy. In my house, I don't even know what the temperature is, but we don't have air conditioners. We have them, but they're not installed because my dad doesn't want them in. But it's cool, I just sleep naked at night, open up the windows, but during the day. But I can't go like walking now because now it'd be too hot to be walking. So that's why my walks are always in the morning. And at nighttime, I'm not trying to be walking at night because it's just like that. It's like that. That's the way it is. I heard Okinawa has all the thick women. Is there any truth to that? It's crazy, man. That the post, it got like, it's asking if I want to show it or hide it. YouTube. I guess people hate me for this or don't like this. I can't answer these questions because I haven't lived in Okinawa. And my kind of default is there's thick women everywhere. There's thick women in, I don't know, where's a place with not thick women? I don't know, Sweden? When I think of Sweden, I don't think of thick women, but I'm pretty sure there's some out there in Alaska. They're there, I guess. But it's an island. I think it would be like any other island. But again, I'm the worst person to ask for that because I didn't go looking for all that. Like when I went to Okinawa the first time, I went there for sunsets. My ex-girlfriend, she knew that I was into taking sunsets and sunrises. So we went to Okinawa and she's driving from one side of the island to get the sunrise and then to the other side to get the sunset. And that's all I was looking at. The next time I went to Okinawa, well, we went again, and we took a bottom, like a boat where you can look at the bottom, glass bottom boats, and all I was looking at was those turtles. I've never seen those big ass turtles, so that's all I was focused on. And then when I went with the model, I took a model out there to take some photos, and all I was looking at then is how the hell did I take a model to Okinawa and she does not want to model because she's scared? And all I was looking at is damn. And then the last time I came out here, I was looking at the model because she was actually modeling. And I was looking at my drone because I brought that out there. How do I go study abroad? Was a pretty easy process. For instance, one consideration. Um, I guess I gotta. I'm the worst person. I guess I'm not the best person to ask, being that I haven't been in the program. Like I, 17 years ago is when I studied abroad, and then the next 15 years I was working. So I don't. I don't. I'm pretty sure it changed, or it's changing. But I guess the best thing to do is Google schools that have study abroad programs and then look at what their requirements are and see if you could fit in there. But I really think it's a money thing. If you could pay for it, like you could do like a language thing. Now, of course, we're doing COVID and this time, but if you could afford to pay their tuition fee, which may be a little overpriced, but if you could afford to pay it, they'll set up your visas and student shit. In my opinion, but don't hold me accountable because I personally haven't done that, and it's been a while since I was looking into it. Do you have any crazy stories from Shinjuku? Shinjuku. I got a lot of stories. Yeah. Let's see. I was with this Japanese guy. I don't know where he came from. Either I just was with him or he just ran into me. I don't remember how we ended up talking. But he said, "Yo, man, I'm trying to get with a black girl, but black girls don't like me." I said, "Really?" I know a lot of black girls who like Japanese men. So we're running around Shinjuku looking for some black females so I could be like, "Yo, this guy is looking for you." But we couldn't find any on that day. Usually I see them, but couldn't find any. That was crazy. Um, Bruh, man. How's it going? It's been loving the vids you've been putting out lately. Yo, I appreciate that because oh, I mean, I guess I talk about this, but I'm trying, man. Like, I'm trying to be consistent and I'm trying to up my game. Yo, right now I'm working on motion effects. So at some point, you're going to see some, like, I'm like, I don't know, just doing some crazy special effects shit. But I do appreciate it, and long story short, making these videos is a kind of therapeutic thing for me because other than this, I don't do anything, man. I'm not gonna get into all that. I mean, I talk about it in the videos, but it just, I mean, I guess if you're looking at the video when I talk about Japan, I'm all like animated, da da da. But then when I talk about other stuff, I'm just But yeah. Let's see, Shinjuku. One time I bought something from the store in Shinjuku. I bought socks, and the sizes are a little weird. So I got a large, but they have like an extra large. My feet ain't that big, so I get the large. I get 3 packs, and then I go back to my house. I put on the medium, but then it didn't fit. So I came back to Shinjuku, and I said, "Hey, I would like to return this." And they said, "You can't return the open one." I'm like, "Whatever. I like to return these other two." They said, "You can't return the other two." I said, "Why not?" They said, "Because," and then here, lost in translation. So I'm trying to explain to them, I bought this one. I bought all three of them. This one doesn't fit. I like to return the other two. And I was in there for like 45 minutes. And then this Nigerian guy that I work with on a couple of music projects and video projects, he just comes strolling by and he's just like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm trying to get my," and it was like $6, but it's my $6. And so he comes in and he just, because he spoke Japanese, he's just like, and then they gave him my money. I mean, I don't know if that was a crazy story, but Japan don't play with return policies like in America or other. I only been in America. In America, on that receipt it says, if you come in, if you try to return this in 31 days, out of warranty, or if we won't accept it, Or if you don't have a receipt, here's a return, but everything is stated on that receipt. And then some stores have lose a receipt, can't help you. In Japan, their receipts are blank pieces of paper. You know, the numbers and all that, but on the back there's no rules. So a lot of times, cuz I'm buying shit, and if it doesn't work, I'm going back to the store, or I'm buying a lot of stuff, and if it doesn't work the way I thought it would, I'm going back to the store to return it. And they will say stuff like, "It is a law in Japan. You cannot return things." I'm like, "Where? You show me that law." And we have a standoff. Now, depending on the price, like $6 socks, I was gonna give up. But if I bought, I don't know, like a $50 Bluetooth speaker that wasn't loud enough for my purposes. One time I bought shoes on the fifth floor, and then by the time I got down to the first floor, I realized I don't want shoes. So I tried to return it before I left the store, and they're like, "You can't return the shoes." Like, I didn't even step out, and I'm showing them the timestamp. Like, we're at 60 days. Yo, man. I mean, I'm spoiled because Japanese people usually don't return things. Like, it doesn't work, they just put it somewhere or give it to somebody. Being from the States, I want what I want. I want it my way. So have you ever randomly stopped by a Japanese woman that flirted with you and caught you by surprise? No. 3 reasons. 1, I'm awkward. Awkward meaning, you know how, in my opinion, but if you're a I smile when I talk, I smile when I perform, but I don't smile when I'm just walking down the street. And if a person looked at me and smiled, I'm thinking, why are they smiling at me? And I look at them in a face that could be perceived as, what the fuck you looking at? And then they would take it as, oh, maybe I did something wrong. Because, people, in my opinion, are like that. If someone smiles at them and if they smile at someone and someone doesn't smile back, their whole world just crumbles. So if someone was flirting with me, I wouldn't perceive it as that. I was thinking, why are they smiling at me? As I said, I'm awkward. Now, this happens if I'm on the train and I'm like doing music or writing lyrics in my head or just something related, and I'm just in my zone, and I look across the way and I see anyone, male or female, but let's say female. They're looking at me, seeing me doing my thing, and they start bopping to this imaginary, well, the music's in my head, but they're just like bopping with me. I had one, I'm like beatboxing to myself, and I look over and she starts beatboxing. And it wasn't related, or it wasn't exclusive to women. I was on the train making my beat on my iPad. I look over, I see this dude, and then he does one of these. Maybe he was a producer, DJ, I don't know. When it comes to kids, and then in the club, that happens because I just be in my zone. But outside of those experiences, I just don't see it. Like when I'm performing, don't see it because I'm awkward. Was the new Mara theme park thing Japan fun? Yeah, it was. I wish I knew that, because Disney is really far from, like, Disney is like a good. Oh, I was in Tokyo, so Disney is closer to Tokyo than Universal Studios was to Tokyo. But I've been to Osaka, and I took off from work to treat myself, and I was working on the album on that day. So a lot of things were happening. I just turned 40, so. And then I get there, and it was just like it was still COVID. It was just when COVID was letting up or closing down. I'm not sure. I think it's closing down. So the only way you can go to that theme park is if you had a hotel, like you were at the hotel. So on that day, I had access to every ride, no line. So I did Harry Potter Land or whatever. I did the Spider-Man things. I did all the VRs, and then I did Mario Land. And I just felt, I did a freestyle too, but my freaking mic didn't connect. I didn't do a test before I did the freestyle, so there's no audio to go with the freestyle. Uh, in JR past deal for what was your per method when you? I can't read so fast. Let's see. Actually, a good deal. Yeah, it is a good deal. I've never had it because I lived in the States, or I was living in Japan, so that we couldn't get it. But it's definitely cheaper for you to get it outside because for tourists they want to, you know. And I believe I don't. Well, back then they used to give you limited edition type ones, which you couldn't get. Um, yeah. So if you, I mean, it's a money thing. If you can afford to get it, you should get it. If you can't, then do what you got to do. I mean, sometimes I would walk, not because I wanted to. Towards the end, I walked because I wanted to. I'd be walking like 4 hours, listening to audiobooks. But sometimes, my money was funny and I had to walk to school and I didn't want to. But preferred method is the train. Like being home, it sucks because in Japan, I guess it's similar to like places that have metros and trains and all that. I can get from point A to point B at any time I wanted. Now, of course, some trains stop at like 12 o'clock, and I did get stranded often, a lot of times. But, wow, you got all the questions, man. And I missed my Zumba class. We're going to have to figure this out because Zumba's always going to be on a Tuesday. I mean, I could start at 5 to 6:30. I don't know. But yeah. Man, you don't understand, man. Zumba. But top 3 cities: Shibuya, the island of Okinawa, but I guess Naha, and Osaka. Why Shibuya? Because that's the first place I went when I went to Japan as a student, and it just kind of locked in. Plus, in Shibuya, you could do everything. Go to the clubs, you could perform, you can shop, you can buy a vizu, you could meet people, you can work, everything's there. Like anything you need, you could find in Shibuya. Even like you have your electronic stores, you have your little shady spots. You have everything there. Okinawa or Naha because it's an island. It's slow and it's just really relaxing. And I couldn't live out there. I got kind of bored after like a few days, but I like popping out there and popping back in. And Osaka because it's so not Tokyo. It's a different vibe. I never lived out there, so I would go there kind of like a tourist. But yeah. What's the main differences you notice in Japan throughout your 17 years? Has anything changed? Osaka looks like it has a lot of people in their early 20s. All right, last. Everyone's in Osaka from 0 to, I'm pretty sure there's some, whatever you call 100-year-old centaurians. But again, it's, social media. Someone who's 100 years old most likely isn't making or being shown on YouTube or whatever thing yet. 17 years, I guess more foreigners are coming out there and really making it their own. When I got out there, you saw how it was. But now there's people killing it on the YouTube scene or Twitch scene or whatever scene they're in. There's a foreigner who's like killing it. When I got out there, it was kind of, but that's more because times have changed. When I got out there, Facebook was still relegated to people who had a college, who are in university. And I used to post on Facebook. So my reach was severely limited. YouTube wasn't cool yet. So only people who were on there were people that were techie or whatever. But now the world's on everything, and so that's one thing. Kids are more used to foreigners because more foreigners are in there, and the kids, Japanese kids, got the internet on their phone. You were one of the very rare few people who lived. You were one of the very few rare people that had videos in Japan. Yeah, but it was mostly because it wasn't a thing yet. Like remember when news stations didn't have Instagram and Twitter? Or I don't know. I guess they did now, but there was a time when they weren't saying, "Why don't you go to our website and da da da," or go to our app. There's a time like if you went somewhere, they're like, well, I guess this is more Japan. So here's one. So in Japan, if you came in there with your camera and tried to take a picture, they're like, no pictures. Towards the end, they're like, take picture and put on Instagram. Because, social media rocks. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't know. I always say that. I didn't know YouTube would be what YouTube is or making videos would be what that would be. So I enjoyed a very interesting position. Now the competition is fierce. I mentioned before, there's a guy doing exactly what I was doing, but he does it in a more polished way because he had years of years. Like, I'm pretty sure it kind of be like if I was look at some old school rapper, I'm like, look at him, his beats are, but at that time, that was like the top of the line. But now, I could make much better beats because I have access to much better equipment or equipment that is, I mean, it could go either way because, you know, they made hits with the equipment they had now. And now we have all the equipment in the world and we're not making hits in the same way, but times change. I try not to watch too many Japanese videos anymore because this kind of takes me away from the mystery. You didn't record a different vending machine. It's popular. Um, it's like everything, man. I didn't have the benefit of having. There was blogs and there was books, and I guess TV shows, but I didn't know anything about Japan. I just went out there, and I think that's why it was so great for me. I've met people that they come out there. I heard that Japanese people don't do XYZ, and they already have that thought cemented in their brain. And it's, if you watch, whoever you're watching, if they say it enough times and you trust them, and then you get out there, it's going to ruin things for you, in my opinion. Now, on the other hand, it may help you. Like, I made a video showing how I get from my house to the immigration so you can get your visa. And I met someone who told me that he followed me via the video to get to the immigration because it was really hard. We didn't have Google Maps back then. So I was literally, all right, and then you're going to walk here and you're going to see that tree. The tree's a little weird. And then you're going to go here and you're going to wait here, but don't do this. And he told me, man, thank you for making that video. So it's kind of a two-edged sword. You're getting lots of valuable insight from the people who live there. And you're also getting a lot of BS from the people who live there. I mean, they're not paid. They're just out there doing. We're not paid. I'm not there now, but when I was out there, I'm pretty sure. I try my best not to mislead people, and luckily, when I was going to the club and all that, I wasn't making those videos because that would have been different times. Yeah, it's probably more much culture shock when you versus watch the millions. I didn't have culture shock. Like, I have culture shock coming back home, coming back to America. Like, I'm shocked that there's so many gun violence things happening, and people, like, I'm shocked that everything has two sides to it, and people argue so passionately about either side, regardless of what it is. Like, if a squirrel chewed my eye out, there'd be someone arguing squirrels are only living in their natural habitat, and they could care less about this eye that's dangling out. Like, that's shocking to me. It's shocking that people still are in other people's business. Like, just let people breathe and be themselves. That. Whereas when I went to Japan, I just, white piece of paper, just writing things as I go. And as I mentioned, man, when I meet people and they come over here, they're just like, Tommy377 said I should never do this because Japanese people don't like it. I'm like, I can I can show you 5 Japanese people who could care less about that. Tommy just never met them. So your information is not accurate. But they believe what they believe, and they're like limiting. Like, I can't stop it. It's gonna, like, the people of color who are still making the videos. People in Japan don't like black people. They're doing a disservice, because it should be more, the people that I have met in this situation doing these things, they don't like it. They don't like me. But could you imagine someone who's dancing reggae, someone who's really deep into African culture? Do you think they don't like black people? But yeah, I'm on my little soapbox. People generalize too much, making rules that don't exist. Good point. I mean, I'm gonna end on this one. I was at one point, I researched all the content creators of color, and I made a list. And it was crazy because even though I'm technically like a pioneer, one of the first, there was people before me, but whatever. I didn't show up in any of their radar because the videos I made were kind of under the radar. You found me because you kind of stumbled onto me. You didn't find me because I was wearing a Pikachu hat or whatever. But I saw this one woman, and she was a black woman, and she had larger breasts, and she said, her shirt was like just basically like a V cut. Her cleavage was all out, and she's like, when I be walking outside, people be staring at me. Why they be? And she was like so serious, and then the people in her circle, her feet are just, yeah, they shouldn't stare at you. I'm like, to each their own. To each their own. I mean, being home, I see things I didn't see in Japan, and I kind of double take. Like, I got a neighbor across the street, man. She comes out dressed like she's always going to the beach, and it's just like, but yeah, because those things be hanging. It's come a long way, honestly. I think there's many reasons younger Judy was gonna get a call older Judy. I guess it's the time. I don't know how old you are, but if you could put it in perspective, it wasn't. I mean, in the scheme of things, World War II happened, and that was America. So that generation wouldn't be all like Americans or this, and I love them. Some would, but And then the crack epidemic, cops, bad boy, not the movie, but the TV show, like all the images that were being pumped out. And you remember we didn't have Martin yet, and we didn't have our big, like we weren't represented in the media that would be going outside of America to Japan. So perception would have been really skewed. And then, some of the young military people are doing what young people do. But what would be changing would be there's more representation, more media access point, and more of teachers, like people from all different walks. There was a transgender teacher that came to one of the schools, and I thought that was great because the kids will have experience with a transgender if they didn't know anything about them. But I was teaching there for 17 years or 15 years, and let's say in one school there's 500 students. Sometimes it's double, but let's say 500. And every year I would teach at a different school. Sometimes I taught at 3 schools. So all those students had a contact point with me. Now, I'm not every black person, and I'm not representative every American, but they could walk away or after that say, yeah, I remember I had a teacher. He was a rapper, and he didn't seem like he was like a bad person. So yeah, every teacher, good teachers, or maybe bad teachers. We shape because those things we're having. All right, people. I could talk with the best of them. All right, so wait, let me come to my little slide. I got this. There, we're gonna. Actually, this is perfect. So the next slide was questions, and we just did all that. And the last slide was closing remarks. So I just want to say again, thank you guys for, you know, joining the feed, and let me know if this format works a little better. I got to figure out the how to get things more smoother, but yeah. But for now, um, let me know if this is something that I mean, it's a lot of work, but I'm gonna put that work in, and a lot of this could be kind of set up. But wish I came in. I mean, I'm a more or less. I'm gonna be here every Tuesday, maybe 5:36. But yeah, but no, thank you guys, and Jumpman, thank you for all the questions, and I hope my answers. I, as I said, it's hard for me to answer a question yes or no, but yeah, but yeah. So we're gonna end it at that one, and be safe for the people who live in those places that it's crazy heat waves and all that shit. Stay hydrated. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. Be safe. Uh, don't let anyone tell you can't do something, but know that some things are a little more difficult. And yeah, so now we could end this part here, and kawaii plants. That's what's up. All right, thank you.